Have you ever considered that the fortune you crave, the fulfilling life you dream of, the freedom you relentlessly pursue, might already be within your grasp? You're just too busy to notice. Sounds crazy, right? But think about it. Most people live and die without realizing there's a precise science to building wealth, happiness, and well-being. A science that has nothing to do with luck, hard work alone, or family inheritance. It's rooted in unseen laws, as real as gravity. When you align yourself with these laws, the universe conspires to help you succeed. But how many times have you poured your heart and soul into something, only to get nowhere? You're about to unlock secrets about life most people never discover. Ever wonder why some people effortlessly attract money, amazing opportunities, and incredible relationships, while others, despite working themselves ragged, stay stuck in debt, frustration, and a never-ending cycle of disappointment? I did. For a long time, I believed I was in the wrong place at the wrong time with the wrong people. I thought luck was for the chosen few, and failure was my birthright. I was wrong. Dead wrong. And the truth is so powerful, its revelation felt like a rebirth. Everything vibrates, everything, your body, your mind, your emotions, your words, money, illness, joy, poverty, wealth. It's all energy in motion. This energy constantly responds to your frequency. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. You attract what you're vibrationally aligned with. Here's the kicker. Most people vibrate at a frequency of fear, scarcity, doubt, and resistance, and they don't even realize it. Honestly, how often do you catch yourself thinking, this is too hard? Things never work out for me, or I'm just destined to be broke. You might not say it aloud, but that feeling, that silent emotion, is shaping your reality. Your brain isn't your you, it's a supercomputer. Amazing, yes, but your mind is the control center. It activates brain cells that set your body to a specific vibrational frequency. That frequency dictates what you attract, perceive, reject, and even how the world reacts to you. When I discovered this, I was drowning in debt. I was a Toronto firefighter making about $4,000 a year. $4,000. Constantly in debt. Never enough. Then someone gave me a book, Think and Grow Rich, saying, read this. Study it like your life depends on it. And I did. Within weeks, something shifted. Not the world around me. Me. My thinking, my vibration, my perspective. I focused on abundance. I mentally repeated that money flowed to me continuously from multiple sources. I started noticing opportunities I'd previously missed. I felt prosperous before. I had the money. Then the money started showing up. In under a year, my annual income soared to over $170,000. It wasn't luck, it was a vibrational shift. I moved from scarcity to prosperity. That changes everything. But here's where people get stuck. They hear this and think, but how can I feel prosperous when I'm broke? How can I have a positive vibe when I'm terrified of losing my job, my rent is overdue, and my credit cards are maxed out? You don't wait for the vibration to change. You change it first. It's like a radio. If you want classical music, you don't yell at the radio for playing heavy metal. You turn the dial, change the frequency, and you get a different station. It's automatic. Want wealth? Tune your mind to wealth. How? Through repetition, visualization, affirmations, reading, music, silence. But above all, through decision. Decide right now to stop fueling scarcity. Decide you'll train your mind daily. And if it wanders, because it will, pull it back. Like a stubborn dog, you reel it in. Science shows our thoughts shape our emotions shape our behaviors, and behaviors shape our results. A Harvard Business School study proved that people who maintain positive emotional states and frequently visualize their goals have far higher financial success rates than those constantly problem-solving. Those who vibrate at a solution frequency attract solutions. Those vibrating at a problem frequency attract more problems. But what if I do all this and nothing happens? That's the question that stops you from starting. It assumes the external result must come first. That's the opposite of the law of vibration. The external is always a reflection of the internal. So the answer is simple. Keep going. Shift your vibration and maintain it. The universe isn't deaf. It simply responds when you stop doubting. I've seen ordinary people, single mothers, unemployed youth, seniors buried in debt, transform their lives in under 6 months. Why? Because they decided to stop vibrating at a victim frequency. They surrounded themselves with positive people, listened to uplifting audios, practiced gratitude before bed, and started talking about money with love and appreciation. Small habits, huge changes. The reverse is also true. I've seen entrepreneurs lose fortunes because, despite their wealth, they vibrated at fear, guilt, and greed. Michael Jackson, for example, was a genius, but lived in emotional chaos, fear, paranoia, anguish. It consumed him. You can have all the money in the world, but if you vibrate at scarcity, you'll lose it, and sooner or later you'll lose your peace too. So here's my invitation. Don't believe me. Test it. Right now, notice how you feel. Close your eyes and ask, what am I emitting into the universe? If it's fear, replace it with trust, anger with gratitude, hurry with presence, and see, feel how the world begins to respond differently. Want to change your life in 2025? Start changing your vibration in 2024. Now, because the only thing between you and the life you dream of is the frequency you choose to inhabit. The most overlooked and powerful truth I've learned is this: nothing happens by chance. There's no luck, no bad luck. There's cause and effect. What you're experiencing today is a direct reflection of the seeds you planted yesterday, consciously or unconsciously. Most people live as if life is a gamble, scattering their energy, hoping something sticks. When it doesn't, they say, "It wasn't meant to be. God didn't want it. Life's unfair." But the universe doesn't understand complaints. It only responds to one language: consistent action and vibration. What you emit returns. What you offer is what you receive. Always. Want to know why your financial life is stagnant? Look at what you're giving to the world. Want more love, recognition, abundance? Ask yourself, how much are you offering first? People demand warmth without being willing to add wood to the fire. Then they complain about life's cruelty. But it's not cruelty, it's consequence. Nature doesn't judge, it reciprocates. I used a simple demonstration in my seminars for years: Newton's cradle. You release one ball, one moves on the other side. 2 balls, 2 move, 3, 3. Pure physics. Energy in, energy out. The universe responds precisely. What you plant, you harvest. And it's not just what you do, it's how you do it, the intention behind the action. You can work 16 hours a day, kill yourself at your job, sacrifice for your family. But if you're doing it with anger, fear, resentment, the return will match that energy. Many good people suffer because they don't understand this. They think they're honest but vibrate at guilt. They think they're generous but expect something in return. They think they're sacrificing for love but feel bitter inside. The universe, like a mirror, reflects it back. I used to be like that. For years, I lived defensively, doing things expecting something in return. I wanted quick results but was impatient. The result? Frustration, exhaustion, more debt, more of the same. Only when I shifted my focus from what will I gain to what can I contribute did everything change. I clearly remember investing in someone, a woman named Sandy Gallagher. She was a lawyer interested in my teachings. I saw her dedication, her unwavering faith. I took a chance on her, and the universe returned that investment tenfold. Today, Sandy is the majority shareholder in our institute. She brought structure, intelligence, and a new level of prosperity. Why? Because before receiving, she gave, and so did I. The law doesn't fail. Pause and think, what are you giving today? Fear or trust? Complaints or gratitude? Scarcity or service? That's what's coming back to you, and will continue to, as long as you keep offering the same thing. Many ask, how do I change what I'm receiving? The answer is simple, though not always easy. Change what you're emitting. Start small. Do someone a favor without expecting anything back. Express gratitude, even without a reason. Give your time. Give your attention. Most importantly, give positive energy. Because if you're doing something right but with the wrong energy, you're sabotaging your own return. You don't need to be a genius, just honest with yourself. Are you giving your best? Are you taking action? Or are you waiting for the universe to solve what you're unwilling to face? What you give isn't just what leaves your hands, it's what leaves your mouth and mind. What you say about yourself, others, and life, it all comes back always. That's where many miss the boat. They repeat self-sabotaging patterns and expect miracles as a reward. But the law is precise. For different results, you need different effects. You need to change the seed. Einstein said insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. Yet that's what most people do. They work harder, stress more, push themselves harder, without changing their mindset, the cause. It's like trying to cure a fever by breaking the thermometer. Want a new life? Offer the world a new you, a more present, determined, conscious you. A you who gives, because you understand giving is the first step in receiving. I challenge you to do this for 7 days. Just 7. Focus solely on giving value without expecting immediate returns. Help someone, compliment someone, take better care of yourself, smile more, serve more. Do this and watch what starts to change, because it will. It's impossible not to. The law guarantees it, and if nothing changes, change a little more. Refine your intention, refine your vibration. Check if you're expecting too much from others and giving too little of yourself. Sometimes it's not life being unfair, it's you neglecting your part. What you plant today, you harvest tomorrow. What you offer now builds your future. If your future hasn't arrived, it might be too early to harvest or too late to keep planting the wrong seeds. You decide. Because everything you desire is on the other side of the energy you emit. Life moves in cycles. Everything has a rhythm. The tide ebbs and flows. The sun rises and sets. Winter comes, then spring. There's a constant dance around us and within us, even when we don't notice it. If you want peace, prosperity, growth, you need to learn to dance with that rhythm instead of fighting it. There's a universal law called the law of rhythm, and it governs everything, your good and bad days, your emotional highs and lows, your financial cycles, your relationships, your ideas, your faith, even your health. But most people try to force life into a straight line. They despair when things don't go as planned. They think failure is permanent, mistakes irreversible, and hard times punishment. They get stuck, not because they're in a bad cycle, but because they refuse to flow with it. You won't always be on top, and that's okay. You don't need to be perpetually smiling, productive, high energy. There will be times you feel like you're falling, and it's okay to fall. The problem is staying down, thinking that hole is permanent. How many times have you had a bad moment and thought, that's it, it's over, there's no way out? Then time passes, you look back and realize you survived. It wasn't the end. It was a curve, a low point, a personal winter. That's when most people give up. On projects, relationships, faith, themselves. They don't understand that life isn't a straight line. It moves in waves. If you stop in the trough, you'll never see the tide rise again. I remember a period early in my studies, consumed by doubt. I questioned if it was real or just another illusion. I'd quit my stable job, bet everything on teaching personal development, and 1 month, nothing. No contracts, no responses, absolute silence. It felt like the universe had turned its back. I could have gone back. I could have given up, apologized, returned to security, but something deep inside whispered, this too shall pass. And it did. The following week, things started moving again. Soon I was teaching a full room, sharing what changed my life. In that cycle, I met people who became essential to my business. The law of rhythm is relentless and perfect. It guarantees nothing stays the same. If you're at the peak, enjoy it, but prepare for the dips. If you're at the bottom, breathe. This too will change. But this is crucial. How you behave in the lows determines what you'll harvest in the highs. Despair, anger, disconnection prolongs the pain. Faith, consistency, focus. You rise stronger, faster, higher. Science supports this. Studies in positive psychology show that people with greater emotional resilience, those who understand and accept their ups and downs consciously, are more successful, healthier, live longer, and have greater life satisfaction. Why? They don't panic in the dips. They breathe, they learn, they continue. Maybe you're going through a tough time. Financial problems, grief, a breakup, disappointment. Maybe you feel like you're in the winter of your life. I understand. I've been there many times. But winter isn't punishment, it's preparation. Roots grow stronger in winter. You discover what truly matters. You know your own depth. If you navigate this cycle wisely, patiently, with faith, spring will come, always. Have you ever seen someone fight winter? Blame the cold, complain about the snow, beg for the sun's return? It's pointless. Winter ends when its cycle is complete. Life is the same. What good is complaining about a bad phase when it's part of your journey's natural movement? Learn from it. Ask, what is this phase trying to teach me? Sometimes it's to slow down. Sometimes it shows who's truly there for you. Other times, it breaks you to rebuild you better. You're not broken, you're in transition. That's entirely different. Advice I've given thousands. Have something that reminds you of the tide, a phrase, a song, an image. I used music. When my vibration dipped, I played something that brought me back, connecting me to the idea that it would pass. One favorite. I can see clearly now the rain is gone. Simple, symbolic, true. You need tools to remember the truth when your mind tries to convince you otherwise. There will be days you want to quit. Those are the days you need to stand firm. You weren't made for constant euphoria or a bottomless pit. You were made to flow, accept it, embrace your rhythm, and you'll realize even the toughest moments hold treasures. Life never misses a beat. The universe never falters. Dance with it, even without music, and you'll hear the melody again. The secret isn't stopping the cycle. It's not stopping within it. When you deeply understand this, something shifts. You no longer react with despair to low tides. You move consciously. Life's setbacks, that failed business, that broken relationship, that unexpected loss, often become the unexpected stepping stones to personal growth. It's not about subtraction, but about rearrangement. Pain, when embraced, stops being an enemy and becomes a compass, guiding you toward introspection, redirection, and maturity. It's about shifting from fighting life to collaborating with it. Think back. How many bad decisions, fueled by impulsive emotions and ignoring warning signs, led to failure? How many opportunities did you miss because pessimism, self-doubt, and feelings of inadequacy clouded your judgment? Understanding the rhythm of life is key, not just for solace during tough times, but for maximizing success in good times. Many stumble at the peak, losing it all due to a lack of humility, discipline, and self-reflection. They believe they're invincible, neglecting to nurture what they have. Yet the rhythm of life reminds us, today's abundance can be tomorrow's scarcity if we don't keep tending the garden. Consider your own emotional state. Some days you feel unstoppable, capable of conquering the world. Other days, insecurity and lack of motivation weigh you down. That's not backsliding. It's the cyclical nature of life. Progress isn't about continuous motivation, but consistent persistence, even when you want to quit. Want a thriving business, a strong marriage, good health, inner peace? Respect the ebb and flow. In moments of triumph, avoid arrogance. In hardship, avoid self-destruction. Extremes are illusions. True transformation comes from consistency, balance, and repetition. I've learned to work even without enthusiasm, to create, write, and teach, even when my body screams for rest. Those were the days I produced my most impactful content, my most transformative courses, my most memorable training sessions. I didn't rely on feelings. I relied on commitment. Have you ever made an emotionally driven decision you regretted? Emotions are fleeting. Commitment endures. To live in harmony with the universe's rhythms, commit to your goals even without feeling motivated. Those feelings will come and go. By persevering, you emerge stronger, wiser, more self-aware. When have you persisted despite a lack of visible results? When did you keep planting without seeing a harvest? That's what separates those who thrive from those who simply survive. Most give up at the first hurdle, but those who understand the rhythm, Plant with faith, nurture with patience, and wait with wisdom. The harvest then is so abundant, it eclipses all the suffering, the effort, the quiet struggle. So, in dark times, persist. Don't pressure yourself to feel good, just don't give up. In times of success, be grateful, but stay humble. Keep cultivating. The cycle will shift, it always does. But those who plant consciously reap in every season. And perhaps that storm you fear is the wind that will carry you to your destiny. Allow the rhythmic flow. Trust the dance of life. Keep going, even without inspiration. Silence is part of the melody. The same event can be a tragedy for one and a miracle for another. The difference isn't in the circumstances, but in perspective, in perception. I remember my first visit to an African school. Children woke before dawn, around 5 in the morning. Many walked considerable distances, some barefoot, facing the morning chill with smiles. They smiled because they were going to school, because they were going to learn, because they knew that moment, that opportunity, was too precious to waste. Now compare that to teenagers dragging themselves out of bed, cursing their alarm clocks, dressing with resentment, as if attending school were a punishment, not a privilege. The same school, the same lessons, yet completely different internal realities. It's all perception. And perception isn't what you see, but how you see it. Perception is a mental skill, one you can train. Your interpretation of reality isn't fixed. It's not a sentence, it's a choice, even if unconscious. By becoming conscious, you gain power. The power to change your experience without changing the facts. By shifting your perspective, things transform before your eyes. How many times have you complained about something that later you recognized as a blessing in disguise? A job loss that led to entrepreneurship. A breakup that opened the door to something authentic. A door closing to reveal a window. What once felt like punishment might now feel like liberation. That's the power of perception in action. Most people ask the wrong question. Why me? This creates a victim mentality, feelings of helplessness, resistance. But there's a transformative question. What can I learn from this? This simple shift in vocabulary changes everything. The second question doesn't deny the pain. It doesn't ignore the challenge, it extracts meaning. And where there's meaning, there's strength. Shifting your perception isn't about romanticizing hardship. It's about recognizing that you choose the meaning of each experience. A problem can be a burden or a workout, an obstacle or an impetus. Furthermore, you can choose gratitude, even without understanding. You can choose trust, even without seeing the whole plan. Everything has a purpose. Recognizing that shifts your energy and trajectory. As long as you try to fix the external with more effort, more pressure, more struggle, you'll remain stuck in circles. By changing the internal, the world responds. The focus shifts, the vibration shifts, and life shifts. In any situation, ask yourself, how am I looking at this? And how can I look at this in a more empowering way? It's a daily practice, a constant decision to elevate your perspective, to see beyond the surface, to train your mind to find miracles where you once only saw tragedies. What you call a problem might be the answer to a long-held prayer. What seems confusing now will make sense later. You don't control everything that happens, but you do control the meaning you give it. And that changes everything. The more you exercise this conscious perception, the clearer the truth becomes. Reality isn't objective. It's shaped by internal filters, beliefs, experiences, unprocessed emotions, social conditioning. You don't see things as they are. You see them as you are at that moment. This selective perception can limit or expand your life. Different people experience the same events with opposite lessons. Why? One focuses on what they lost, the other on what they can gain. One sees the end, the other sees the new beginning. It's not luck or intelligence, it's focus. And focus is a choice. Your attention is a lens. It magnifies the problem or highlights the solution, amplifies fear or strengthens courage. Many well-intentioned people get trapped in cycles of frustration, thinking they need to change jobs, cities, partners, lives, but they need to change their perspective. As long as you look through the same eyes with the same judgments, the same expectations, nothing new will happen. You'll just repeat old patterns in new settings. Your perception affects your vibration, and your vibration determines what you attract. If you perceive everything as a threat, you live in the frequency of fear. If you see challenges as tests, you live in the frequency of growth. If you see encounters as lessons, you live in the frequency of gratitude. Perception isn't just what you see, it's what you emit, transmit, and the world reflects it back. Observe. Where is your focus? On possibilities or limitations? On answers or complaints? On life as a struggle or as a great lesson, with teachers in disguise? It matters. What you see through eyes conditioned by scarcity will seem unfair. What you see with eyes trained by awareness transforms everything into opportunity. Don't wait for life to improve to change your perception. It's the change in perception that improves life. Start where you are with what you have now. As long as you wait for an external signal to feel good, you'll be a prisoner of circumstance. When you understand that your perspective is a creative force, you stop reacting and you start creating. This puts you in command, not of the outside world, but of your internal world. And when that world changes, the rest follows. What you see depends on how you look, and you can choose to look differently today. Reality isn't determined only by facts, but by how you interpret them. Perception is the lens that colors everything, and that lens can be adjusted, trained, improved. By changing your gaze, life changes before your eyes. If this resonated with you, know this is just the beginning. The next video is the next step. There you'll ascend another rung on your evolutionary ladder, becoming 1% better than you are now. Just 1%, but that day after day changes everything. Thank you for watching. Until next time.